He who cannot obey himself will be commanded. That is the nature of living creatures.
Failure is the condiment that gives success its flavor.
Your life will not end with death. You are immortal. You are always there, and you always will be. Stop feeling sorry for yourself, and you will be happy. There are two ways to be fooled. One is to believe what isn't true. The other is to refuse to believe what is true.
Agitate him and ascertain the pattern of his movement.
If you've got the truth, you can demonstrate it. Talking doesn't prove it. A thing worth having is a thing worth cheating for. Human life is but a series of footnotes to a vast, obscure, unfinished masterpiece.
Old ways won't open new doors. It is better for the heart to break than not to break. Just because it's taking time doesn't mean it's not happening.
I would rather die of passion than of boredom.
Beware of the small things. A small leak can sink a great ship.
Don't rush the process. Trust it. Great things take time. I don't want to be a tree. I want to be its meaning.
Serious thinkers are few, and the world is ruled by crude ideas.
To see what is in front of one's nose needs a constant struggle. You are at your strongest when you are calm.
Don't fear big. Fear mediocrity. Fear waste. Fear the lack of living to your fullest.
Live and act within the limit of your knowledge, and keep expanding it to the limit of your life.
3 rules of work. Out of clutter, find simplicity. From discord, find harmony. In the middle of difficulty lies opportunity. Whatever is going to happen will happen, whether we worry or not.
Great truths can only be forgotten and can never be falsified. We can regard our life as a uselessly disturbing episode in the blissful repose of nothingness.
Truth is what stands the test of experience.
Nobody's going to win all the time. On the highway of life, you can't always be in the fast lane.
A petty thief is put in jail. A great brigand becomes a ruler of a nation. The only time you fail is when you fall down and stay down.
Food is not merely a means of satiating our hunger, but a source of sustenance that fuels our existence. Be like the flower that gives its fragrance to even the hand that crushes it.
Life would be unbearably dull if we had answers to all our questions.
Don't find fault, find a remedy. Anybody can complain. I'm sure the universe is full of intelligent life. It's just been too intelligent to come here. Too many people spend money they haven't earned, to buy things they don't want, to impress people that they don't like. Anything that smiles often needs to be reminded that the world is a cruel, dark place. That's the problem with memories. You can visit them, but you can't live in them. Create your best life with your consciously chosen thoughts, words, and actions. Too many of us are not living our dreams because we are living our fears. The most wasted of days is one without laughter.
It is hard work and great art to make life not so serious.
Don't own so much clutter that you will be relieved to see your house catch fire. The healing man left me a wee bit broken so I could understand. All the work you are doing in silence is opening doors. Trust your pace. Don't pretend to be better than you are. Live life at your own pace.
The only thing that interferes with my learning is my education.
Setting goals is the first step in turning the invisible into the visible.
The only thing that can grow is the thing you give energy to.
The lessons of life amount not to wisdom, but to scar tissue and callus. At some point, you just gotta forgive the past. Your happiness hinges on it.
Being true to yourself is the greatest force to uncover the soul. Too many people are too busy making a living to make a life. If you do not change direction, you may end up where you are heading.
Free yourself from the inauthenticity and disempowerment of your story.
I'm not afraid of death. I just don't want to be there when it happens.
I would have offered you a forest of truth, but you wish to speak of a single leaf.
Maybe everyone can live beyond what they're capable of. The way to screw up somebody's life is to give them what they want.
All I am is literature, and I'm not able or willing to be anything else. Yet he who reigns within himself and rules passions, desires, and fears is more a king. Everything that can be thought at all can be thought clearly. Everything that can be said clearly. One day, all those late nights and early mornings will pay off. The difference between success and failure is not giving up. As long as your ideas of what's possible are limited by what's actual, no other idea has a chance.
Success is the progressive realization of a worthy ideal. Consideration for others is the basis of a good life, a good society.
Success or failure in business is caused more by mental attitude even than by mental capabilities.
We humans are more concerned with having than with being.
Intelligence alone is not nearly enough when it comes to acting wisely. What helps you persevere is your resilience and commitment. We can't go back and change what happened. It's what we do next that matters. The results of knowledge without application results in nothing at all. Do what you know better to do. Money gives you freedom. Freedom gives you happiness. I want to show the world how darkness can sometimes be so beautiful.
I speak to everyone in the same way, whether he is the garbage man or the president of the university.
My point is, life is about balance. The good and the bad, the highs and the lows, the pina and the colada. It is wise to keep in mind, neither success nor failure is ever final. In my opinion, our healthcare system has failed when a doctor fails to treat an illness that is treatable. We all need to be mocked from time to time, lest we take ourselves too seriously.
Colors blind the eye, sounds deafen the ear, flavors numb the taste, thoughts weaken the mind, desires wither the heart.
Life is and will ever remain an equation incapable of solution, but it contains certain known factors. Those who would wage war should first eliminate all domestic enemies before proceeding to attack the external foe. You can't let the truth bring out the worst and let it get the best of you. Before you can successfully make friends with others, first you have to become your own friend. Guard well your thoughts when alone and your words when accompanied. People will not remember what you did for living. They will remember how you touched them with kindness and loving. There is no standard normal. Normal is subjective. There are 7 billion versions of normal on this planet. Know from whence you came. If you know whence you came, there are absolutely no limitations to where you can go.
The most important thing about a technology is how it changes people.
Don't be afraid of criticism. The tallest trees are always confronted by the strongest winds. Life is like riding a bicycle. To keep your balance, you must keep moving. Any man who reads too much and uses his own brain too little falls into lazy habits of thinking.
There are no second chances in life, except to feel remorse. Don't be afraid of enemies who attack you. Be afraid of the friends who flatter you.
Associate with the noblest people you can find. Read the best books. Live with the mighty. But learn to be happy alone. Life can only be understood backwards, but it must be lived forwards.
Some things in life are too complicated to explain in any language.
A man must not be without shame, for the shame of being without shame is shamelessness indeed. Perception was easily accomplished, required little effort, and it never had to stand the test of reality. We have our dreams, because without them, we could not bear the truth.
Sometimes one pays most for the things one gets for nothing.
I'm sorry for my inability to let unimportant things go, for my inability to hold on to the important things. Anyone who knows me should learn to know me again, for I am like the moon, you will see me with new face every day. In between goals is a thing called life that has to be lived and enjoyed.
Remember that the happiest people are not those getting more, but those giving more. Success, for most people, requires unlearning as much as learning.
That's the problem with life. You never get enough time to stare at your ceiling and try to figure out what's going on.
People rarely succeed unless they have fun in what they are doing.
Maybe this is why we read, and why in moments of darkness we return to books to find words for what we already know. No one human being knows the full truth about another human being, not even one's nearest and dearest.
Weak leadership can wreck the soundest strategy.
One can be the master of what one does, but never of what one feels. We must let go of the life we have planned, so as to accept the one that is waiting for us. The road to enlightenment is long and difficult, and you should try not to forget snacks and magazines. Successful people enjoy the journeys they embark on, irrespective of whether they reach their destination or not. If your dreams don't scare you, they are too small.
There is no wealth like knowledge, no poverty like ignorance. Speak to me. I will spend my lifetime trying to understand you. Change the way you look at things, and the things you look at change.
Do not fear to be eccentric in opinion, for every opinion now accepted was once eccentric. There is your truth, and there is my truth. As for the universal truth, it does not exist. You go out and do the best you can and hope it works. You just try to improve.
Your worth consists in what you are and not in what you have.
To forgive is wisdom, to forget is genius and easier. Because it's true, it's a new world every heartbeat. Ignore all hatred and criticism. Live for what you create and die protecting it.
You are not the opinion of someone who doesn't know you. I shall allow no man to belittle my soul by making me hate him.
Never apologize for showing feeling. When you do so, you apologize for the truth. And meanwhile, time goes about its immemorial work of making everyone look and feel like shit. When we stop fighting against death, we are able to wake up to our lives. Truth is a hard master and costly to serve, but it simplifies all problems. The superior man is slow in his words and earnest in his conduct. You have to rise above the squabbling and chaos and keep believing. You have to always keep your goals in mind. The only thing that makes life possible is permanent, intolerable uncertainty, not knowing what comes next.
Other people are only aspects of our own greater being. Do not look for healing at the feet of those who broke you. Convictions are more dangerous foes of truth than lies. Victory comes from finding opportunities in problems.
I like shape very much. A novel has to have shape, and life doesn't have any. Nothing is as it seems, but something is everything it is made out to be. Be happy in the moment. That's enough. Each moment is all we need, not more. Don't ruin a good today by thinking about a bad yesterday. Let it go.
Keep working hard, and you can get anything that you want.
Learn to live deeply and realize that all experiences, good or bad, are transient and opportunities for liberation. Those guys who want to have the mohawk, which to me is the new business casual. You receive from the world what you give to the world. Heaven wheels above you, displaying to you her eternal glories, and still your eyes are on the ground. Our worlds are an AI rendering of our input. Be curious, travel, and elpore to create a better world. It's strange how dreams get under your skin and give your heart a test for what's real and what's imaginary.
Ability, experience, and books have solution for all the problems. Peace cannot be kept by force. It can only be achieved by understanding.
Simple the life, simpler will be your instincts. The laws that govern the universe will obey your simplicity. Truth is like the sun. You can shut it out for a time, but it ain't going away. And whatever my life had been up to that day, it was another life after that. And that is the gospel truth.
When the going gets weird, the weird turn professional.
The more details, depth, and thought you put into your ideas, the more valuable they become. Cunning grows in deceit at seeing itself discovered, and tries to deceive with truth itself.
Filter out the irrelevant noise. Focus on the objective.
No man can be a failure if he thinks he's a success. If he thinks he is a winner, then he is. The trouble with fiction, said John Rivers, is that it makes too much sense. Reality never makes sense. I offer my opponents a bargain. If they will stop telling lies about us, I will stop telling the truth about them. The light at the end of the tunnel is just the light of an oncoming train. No man ever threw away life while it was worth keeping. I don't regret the painful times. I bear my scars as if they were medals. Skill is only developed by hours and hours of work. You are not just for the right or left, but for what is right over the wrong. Rock and roll is not red carpets and MySpace friends. Rock and roll is dangerous and should piss people off.
Sometimes your circle decreases in size, but increases in value. A lion chased me up a tree, and I greatly enjoyed the view from the top.
Be obsessed with becoming the best version of yourself. Life is like an elevator. On your way up, sometimes you have to stop and let some people off. Don't half-state yourself. You're the most variable person, because every big thing started from a small one. As architect of your reality, you are empowered to create it as you choose. Always be like a water. Float in the times of pain or dance like waves along the wind which touches its surface. The fool doth think he is wise, but the wise man knows himself to be a fool. The first step towards getting somewhere is to decide that you are not going to stay where you are. Facing it, always facing it, that's the way to get through. Face it. What we fear doing most is usually what we most need to do. Maybe it was wrong or maybe impossible, but I wanted the truth to be one thing, one solid thing. You look up when you wish to be exalted, and I look down because I am exalted. A gem cannot be polished without friction, nor a man perfected without trials. I failed to communicate. That's why I chose to leave.
The snow goose need not bathe to make itself white. Neither need you do anything but be yourself.
Life was not longer something to endure, but to live.
Go slowly, so that you do not bite your tail by accident.
The bounties of space, of infinite outwardness were three: empty heroics, low comedy, and pointless death. If you place your head in a lion's mouth, then you cannot complain one day if he happens to bite it off. Talking without thinking is like shooting without aiming. People's lives take them strange places. They do strange things and, well, sometimes they can't talk about them. Even a blind man knows when the sun is shining. Take advantage of it now, while you are young, and suffer all you can, because these things don't last your whole life.
A star is not honored for its size, but for its light.
Chase after the truth like all hell, and you'll free yourself, even though you never touch its coattails. We live in a dark and romantic and quite tragic world.
Make visible what, without you, might perhaps never have been seen.
Do not despise your own place and hour. Every place is under the stars. Every place is the center of the world. If you're making mistakes, it means you're out there doing something. It's not unpatriotic to denounce an injustice committed on our behalf. Perhaps it's the most patriotic thing we can do. I just want to do something that matters, or be something that matters. I just want to matter. Above all else, guard your heart, for it affects everything else you do.
Don't complain about the snow on your neighbor's roof when your own doorstep is unclean.
A smart person knows how to talk. A wise person knows when to be silent. People are almost always better than their neighbors think they are. A hero is just somebody who does the right thing when it would be far, far easier to do nothing. Earn nicely, spend wisely, and you will live happily.
Life is too short when you think of the length of death. It takes greater faith to dance in the dark than to rest in light. Politeness is the first thing people lose once they get the power.
The point of modernity is to live a life without illusions while not becoming disillusioned. However beautiful the strategy, you should occasionally look at the results.
The money you make is a symbol of the value you create. Growing up is losing some illusions in order to acquire others.
Philosophizing is simply one way of being afraid. Cowardly pretense that doesn't get you anywhere. Getting something and having the wits to use it. Those are two different things. Nothing is ever complete. You just have to get it close enough that it makes you happy. You are confined only by the walls you build yourself. What we like to think of ourselves and what we really are rarely have much in common. You must be the best judge of your own happiness. Two things are infinite: the universe and human stupidity. And I'm not sure about the universe.
If the world is against the truth, then I am against the world.
Sometimes you have to lose all you have to find out who you truly are. Your life begins to change the day you take responsibility for it.
Dining with the king, your attire, attitude, and mentality must change.
I was bold in the pursuit of knowledge, never fearing to follow truth and reason, to whatever results they led.
No one cares how much you know until they know how much you care.
We strive for harmony, but it is not always realized.
The distance between insanity and genius is measured only by success. Remove the clowns from your life before you become one.
The arc of the moral universe is long, but it bends towards justice. The unhappiest people in this world are those who care the most about what other people think.
The desire to reach for the stars is ambitious. The desire to reach hearts is wise.
If you feel obsessed to prove something to the world, then you need world attention to be able to prove it. Anyone who fights for the future lives in it today.
Positive expectations are the mark of the superior personality.
I may not have gone where I intended to go, but I think I have ended up where I needed to be. It was amazing how it worked. The tiniest bit of truth made credible the greatest lies. The greatest discovery of any generation is that a human can alter his life by altering his attitude.
If people treat you like an option, leave them like a choice.
Nobody will save you, some can't even save themselves. Understanding is a three-edged sword, your side, their side, and the truth. When you connect to the silence within you, that is when you can make sense of the disturbance going on around you. Stay away from those who want you to be in the same predicament as them. When faith in our freedom gives way to fear of our freedom, silencing the minority view becomes the operative protocol. The day you become old is the day you're not looking for new experiences anymore. If a man confessed anything on his deathbed, it was the truth, for no man could stare death in the face and lie.
Rely not on the likelihood of the enemy's not coming, but on our own readiness to receive him.
Fear is oftentimes born of ignorance and misconception. It lays waste to the landscape of the soul. It is not the mountain we conquer, but ourselves. Dwell on the beauty of life, watch the stars, and see yourself running with them.
To succeed in life, you need three things: a wishbone, a backbone, and a funny bone.
Give me the facts, and I will determine my own truths. What you don't know won't hurt you. The dubious maxim, sometimes what you don't know can hurt you very much. Every time you spend money, you're casting a vote for the kind of world you want. It was like when you ripped a piece of paper into two. No matter how you tried, the seams never fit exactly right again. If you start with nothing and end up with nothing, there's nothing lost.
You must take life the way it comes at you and make the best of it.
Making time to experience joy is the single most important thing you can do to heal your heart.
We should forgive our enemies, but not before they are hanged.
Don't quit. Nothing lasts forever, not even pain. The thing about lying to your parents is, you have to do it to protect them. It's for their own good.
Real knowledge is to know the extent of one's ignorance. After all, if you run far enough, no one can catch you.
Authority without wisdom is like a heavy axe without an edge, fitter to bruise than polish. The truth is messy. It's raw and uncomfortable. You can't blame people for preferring lies. A point of view can be a dangerous luxury when substituted for insight and understanding. There are ships sailing to many ports, but not a single one goes where life is not painful. People don't realize how a man's whole life can be changed by one book. Believe in your greatness, 'cause what you believe is what you become. It isn't a sadness, but a joy that we don't do the same things for the length of our lives.
Things don't happen for no reason. They happen to teach you something. It is better to fail in originality than to succeed in imitation. I'm going to try speaking some reckless words, and I want you to try to listen recklessly.
Try it before you doubt it, because it might just be for you. I have been swimming inward and no longer drowning. I have been seeking the answers within myself. Where your treasure is, there will your heart be also. This is your life, and it's ending one moment at a time.
Life is worth living when you have someone to share it with.
I had a dream about you last night. You were a giant slinky, and I watched you fall down the stairs. 90% of everything you believe you can achieve in life you will. Do not go where the path may lead.